Hi everyone. Uh, as you know that we have already completed inventory management related discussion. I have uploaded them as working capital 1 and working capital 2 videos. So those whoever going through this video, make sure you have gone through working capital 1 and working capital 2 videos and you have understood that clearly. What I'm going to discuss in this video is certain discussion elements that I did not discuss in the previous videos. Yeah, uh, and you will have this handout with you, which you can use as a revision material. Yes, when you are studying, this could be your revision material. All right. So here I'm discussing about having high level of inventory. What are the problems? Which I already discussed in the previous videos. Low level of inventory, all these things for your reading. And then we are entering into this economic order quantity concept. So the four variables we are using there, D, Q, C, O, C, H defined here, which we are familiar with this. Holding cost, I explained. Same thing I'm having it here, nothing new. Holding cost calculation, holding cost graph, then the ordering cost calculation, ordering cost graph, total of holding cost and ordering cost, and there you go, economic order quantity and the definition or the explanation of what is EOQ. Then we are going into assumptions of the EOQ model. Demand and lead time are constant and known. Demand means for a year, for a period, how much material you are going to use, how much goods you are going to sell. This is what we call demand. So for if you are calculating this for material, annual material usage is known and it's constant. It doesn't change. It doesn't fluctuate. You take an assumption like that because one of the variable we are using in the EOQ calculation is D. If you are unsure about D, if there is uncertainties about D, then EOQ will not be reliable. Similarly, lead time. Lead time means what we mean by lead time here is the time taken by supplier to supply the material. From the day we have placed the order until we receive the material, how long the supplier takes is known as lead time. Why that is important? If supplier's lead time is uncertain, you see, like let's say you are assuming that supplier will give you the material in 5 days time. So what you will do, you will place the order when there are 5 days for your material to finish, expecting sharp in 5 days the supplier will send you the material. But what will happen instead of 5 days if supplier takes 7 days? Your material will be finished in 5 days and for 2 days you will not have material. So these kind of practical points are not considered in this EOQ calculation. We assume demand and lead time are constant and known. Purchase price is constant because see, in the EOQ calculation we completely neglected purchase price. Why? We assume whatever the volume, purchase price is constant, so we don't have to consider that in deciding the order quantity. But depending on order quantity, if purchase price is going to change, then the EOQ concept will not apply. No buffer inventory. Alright, so those are some of the assumptions in EOQ model, and then I have included some example for EOQ, which we did in the other video, so I'm not going to spend time in that. You do it. Couple of practice questions are there, do them. If you have difficulties, feel free to reach out to me. You all might have my email addresses, yeah. Some of you might have my mobile number also, so feel free to contact me. EOQ and quantity discounts was discussed, yeah. So again, same thing with few steps. You try doing this. If anybody finding it difficult to do this, go back and check my video number 2, working capital 2. Alright, and this thing is new, inventory control systems. There are two main different systems known as reorder level system and periodic review system. what is this reorder level system? We will keep a particular level of inventory as our signaling level. See, for example, I'll tell you an easy example. A retailer who is buying and selling, what? Take some simple example: mobile phones. Okay. Let's say he orders 100 units. He buys 100 units. He keeps and sells it. Now the question arises when he should order again, when he should check his inventory, and when he should place the next order. What reorder level says is keep an inventory level as the alarm or a signal level. For example, he might think, okay, whenever inventory goes to 10 units, I will place the next order. So now I have 100. Maybe within a week itself it might come down to 10, or within a month it might come down to 10, or it might take 6 months for my inventory to go down to 10. Doesn't matter. Whenever inventory goes down to 10, I will place my next order. So this is what we call reorder level system. Let me try to show you in a graph. Let's say this is time in the x-axis. This is time. Yep. And the y-axis, let me take what y-axis, the inventory level. Right. Let's say they have marked the reorder level at this point. This is the reorder. Let me mark that in a dotted line. Right, so that's a reorder level. Say this is where your inventory is now. You are using at this rate, and see the moment you reach this point, let me fully draw that. The moment you reach this point, see, look at where my arrow is. This point, you're going to place the order. That means at this time point, you will place the order. Why are you placing the order like that? Because this dotted line is considered to be a reorder level. Let me name that reorder level. This is the reorder level. So when is the first order is going to be placed? Look at this. This time point is when the first order is going to be placed. Let me mark that in a different color. Let me put a blue color for that. Right, that's where the first order is made. Now, okay, you are placing the order at this time point. There will be supplier lead time. Let's say somewhere here you are receiving the material, somewhere around 0 you are receiving the material. So with that your material level goes up. It is here again. Then again you are going to use it. You're using it. Let's say this time you're using it slowly. So see the rate it is being used, it reduces slowly. So at what point you're going to place the next order? Next order will be placed. Next order will be placed here. So there is no particular time period, guys. There is no particular time period. The first order was placed here. When are you going to place the second order? Whenever inventory reaches the reorder level. It might be after a week, it might be after a month, it might be after 6 months, doesn't matter. Whenever your inventory goes down to reorder level, you are placing the order. This system is known as reorder level system. So what is the meaning of reorder level system? A level of inventory is marked as reorder level. Whenever the inventory reaches that level of inventory, the new order is placed, next order is placed. Right. So what's the other system we have? We have another system known as periodic review system. Periodic review system means, see, let me modify this graph a little bit. Okay, let me modify this. Okay, this is how the second month went. We place the order. Again it went up. Again you use it. Let's say this time you're using it slowly. So the next order is here. So this is the point I told you. See, in between the first two orders, time gap is less. The second order was placed fast. Whereas in between the second and third order, the time gap is longer. So there is no particular time period in between two orders. Understand that point. When which one? In the previous system, reorder level system. Now we will come back to periodic review system. Let me copy the same graph here. Periodic review system, what happens? You will review the inventory at a particular time interval, maybe every week Friday, or every month 15th. Understand? Or every 3 days. You will have a inventory review at a fixed interval. Whether inventory had been used or not doesn't matter. You're going to review it on a particular time gap. Let's say every month 30th you are reviewing the inventory. So January 30th, February no 30th, maybe 28th, March 30th, April 30th. Every month 30th you are going to check the inventory, and depending on how much inventory is available, you will place the next order. What I mean by depending on the available inventory means, see, going back to that example of mobile phone seller, first time he ordered 100, right? So he started the business with 100. When 1 month finishes, let's say his inventory was at 20. So he might order another 80 units because his plan is keeping 100 as the maximum, right? So he's topping up with 80. So the first order goes for 80 mobile phones. When he reviews for the next date, that means second month 30th, let's say that month was a dull month, he could not sell many units. His inventory was 60 units of inventory was already there. 60. So this time how much will he order? He will order only 40 because he is trying to top up to 100, right? So this time he will order only 40. See, first time he ordered 80. This time, let me show that in a graph. Let me show that in a graph. See, inventory goes like this. Let's say this is where let me mark it here. Hold on. Let's say this is where the first 30th of month comes. This first blue line. Okay. So then he will check. Okay, this is where I am. I can top up this much. So he placed the order accordingly. Let's say he receives the material a bit early. Okay, somewhere here. Then when he receives the material, it goes to here. Right. Next month, okay, sales was dull. It was going like this. Anyway, the date has come. Next 30th has come. So at this point, see, I'll mark it here. At this point, he has to place the next order as per his system, right? But how many units he must order? Not as much as he ordered in the first time, because look at this graph. First time his inventory was too low, so he had to order this much to top up. But second time his inventory is already high. He shouldn't order too many units. So how much he might order? He might order less this time. So look at this. By the time he receives the consignment, the inventory might be here. So how much he should have ordered? He must have made a small order. See, something like this. Because his inventory is already high. He already have 80 units of mobile phones. So he ordered only another 20. Third month. So you are using faster. Again, you will place the order. Not, since it is going faster, you are not going to place the order early. You will wait for the date. Let's say the date comes somewhere here. Let's say this is where the date is. Now this time your situation is too bad. You are very low. So you have to place a very high level of order. So this time what you ordered might be around this quantity. And then you keep using it. Again, next 30th, you evaluate, review the inventory level and you place the order. So look at the difference between the first one and second one. Here, every time what you order is equal quantity. In which one reorder level system, every time you order equal quantity. But in periodic review system, it may not be equal quantity. Because depending on how much inventory you have. But periodic review system has another discipline. What is the discipline? On a particular timing, you are going to always check the inventory and top up your inventory. But reorder level doesn't happen on a timing basis. Sometimes in between two orders, the time can be too lengthy or too short. But order size is fixed. So the EOQ system what we studied earlier is actually a reorder level system. Because that is where the order quantity is fixed, order level is fixed. Clear? Right. You won't be doing much of calculations on this. Just know these two systems, reorder level system and periodic review system. There is a third system, a mix system. Basically, what is a mix system? It's a reorder level system, but time to time you will be checking your inventory also. So you will have both features, the reorder level feature, EOQ and everything is there. Plus periodically you double check your inventory also. That is called mixed system, which has a feature of both. So how do we calculate reorder level? This is the formula. Reorder level is demand in the lead time. I told you what is lead time, how long supplier takes to supply the material. Let's say supplier usually takes 10 days. Or look at this example. Demand is 260,000 kilogram for the year. Supplier's lead time is 1 week. So look at this. Reorder level is going to be, look at the formula, demand in the lead time. Lead time 1 week. So I need to find out in 1 week how much material is going to be utilized. But I know for the whole year it is 260,000. So let me take 260,000 divide by 260,000 divide by 52 to find out what is the weekly usage of material. Weekly usage. And then multiply that by 1 week. This is what we mean by demand in the lead time or usage in the lead time. Within that 1 week, supplier is going to take how much material you are going to use. The answer comes to be 5,000, is it? Yeah, it's 5,000. So when your inventory is at 5,000, you place the next order. When your inventory is at 5,000, you place the next order. So what will happen? The supplier is going to take 1 week time. In that 1 week time, you can use this material, this 5,000 kilograms you have. By the time you receive the consignment, this 5,000 also would be used fully. Remember, here the supplier's lead time should be reliable, predictable and reliable. If supplier's lead time is uncertain, say you have a foreign supplier, so you don't know how long it will exactly take, then we have a different way of dealing with this. So this is why I said this is for demand and lead time are known. Look at this. When demand and lead time are known with certainty, this is what we do. Average demand multiplied by the period supplier is going to take. This will tell you the reorder level. Now look at this example. When the lead time is variable, that means demand and lead time are variable. Demand means what? The usage of material. Right. Some days you might be working faster and more material might be utilized. Some days, some weeks you might be working slowly and less material might be utilized. So the demand or usage can also be uncertain. Similarly, the lead time, supplier how long he is going to take, that also can be uncertain. So when that is uncertain, what we do, we take the worst case, maximum demand, that means fastest usage as well as latest supply from the supplier. Maximum lead time. Take maximum. Look at this example. Demand 260,000 to 286,000. So to calculate the ROL, I will take the worst case. 286,000 is the worst case because that is what material is utilized faster divided by 52. So this will give you maximum, the highest usage for a week multiplied by. Now look at the lead time. Lead time also can be 1 to 2 weeks. Here again you take the worst case. What is the maximum time period? Look at the formula. ROL equals maximum demand multiplied by maximum lead time. Here maximum lead time is 2 weeks multiplied by 2. So that will give you the answer. 226 11,000. So in this example, when your inventory is at 11,000 kilogram, you have to place the order. That will make yourself safe. Even if supplier takes maximum lead time, longest time period, you will still have material to run your production. You don't have to, stop your production, hold your production, waiting for the material supply. So this is the reorder level calculation, right? I have done reorder level calculation in 2 methods. First one, where the demand and lead time are constant and they are known. Second one, there is uncertainty about the demand and lead time. Then what you take? You take the worst case scenario, maximum. Alright, so that's about it. Then we have something called inventory warning levels. I'm not going to do calculation on this because not so important, not very frequently or not at all tested area. Know that reorder level plus reorder quantity minus minimum. This will give you the maximum inventory. Why we need to calculate maximum inventories, guys? Sorry. Why we need to calculate maximum inventory is you need to know what capacity of storage you need to have. Think about an ice cream seller. You need to have the refrigerator facility to accommodate the inventory. Imagine he ordered and supplier supplied very fast, but you don't have space in your fridge. What are you going to do? So to avoid that kind of situations, we need to calculate the maximum possible inventory also. This formula would help. Similarly, minimum inventory level is calculated. Minimum inventory means, what we mean by minimum inventory here is the buffer stock. I told you in the previous video, companies used to maintain a minimum level of inventory as buffer stock. They never let the inventory go below that. They keep that as a safety inventory. So how we calculate the safety inventory? Again, there is a formula. Just have a look at that. Know this concept. What is maximum inventory? What is minimum inventory? Have a look at the formula. I'm not spending time on the calculation purposefully because most of you are preparing for the case study exams. In the case study exam, the calculation on maximum minimum inventory is not tested. And the discussion about purchasing raw material, whether it is centralized or decentralized, you need to know. Centralized and decentralized, what's the meaning? If a company has multiple divisions, multiple branches, whether purchasing should be done by each branch individually or whether there has to be a centralized purchasing division which purchases for all the branches. A chain of supermarkets. Are we going to allow each supermarket manager to buy the products on their own, or should we have a centralized purchasing division and then deliver it to all the divisions? A construction company having 10 different construction sites, each might have a manager. So are we going to allow those managers to source their own supplier, or are we going to have one centralized department which does all the purchases and then send the material or tell the managers to use those materials? Centralized versus decentralized. Centralized means head office does everything. Decentralized means divisions do it. So I have discussed about the advantages of each of them. Centralized purchasing, what is the advantage? Advantage number one, order in large quantities. When you have 10 construction sites, for all 10 together, when you buy cement, you may be able to bargain a better price. Second point, can have access to wider network of suppliers, which will help. See, sometimes the divisions might be in remote areas where you don't have access to suppliers, or you don't have access to large scale suppliers. Whereas if it is head office controlling so many divisions, might be in a better location, might have better visibility, might be able to find suppliers with better quality and better prices at times. Common quality standards can be enforced. See, in the construction company example, let's say what kind of wood is going to be used, what kind of timber is going to be used in each of the construction site. If you allow the divisions manager, each site manager to find the material on their own, sometimes the quality will not be same. One manager might be buying high quality material, another one might be buying at a low quality. So the brand name will be affected, right? By making sure that you are for all of sites, one purchasing division is buying all the material, there will be a constant quality, consistency will be there. So those are some advantages. Decentralized purchasing advantages, local managers can develop strong relationship with local suppliers, because guys, at a smaller scale, when things are functioning, when you're finding local suppliers, sometimes the relationship could be better. They may be able to form a better relationship, can take advantage of temporarily low prices locally. Time to time at different divisions, prices might go low, which the head office might not know. For example, think hiring laborers. Sometimes place to place, the labor rates fluctuate. So if divisional managers have the power to hire the laborers on their own, whenever the rates go low, they will find laborers on their own and use them at the lower rate, right? Whereas head office doesn't know this, and if head office is the one purchasing and hiring, they don't know this fact, they will miss it. Can respond to inventory shortages more quickly, rather than you sending request to the head office, the head office purchasing the material and sending it to the division. Rather than all that, if the divisional manager has the power to buy material, they can do it quickly. So each method, centralized and decentralized purchasing, both have advantages. I did not discuss about the disadvantages here, because centralized purchasing advantages will be the disadvantages to the other one. For example, when you talk about decentralized purchasing, you can say when it is decentralized, quantity discounts will not be obtained, common standards cannot be maintained. Likewise, advantages of one can be converted as disadvantages to the other. So have a knowledge about this one, centralized and decentralized purchasing. Alright guys, that's all the inventory management. So I will share this handout with you. Keep this as kind of a revision material for you. Make sure you copy all the relevant notes and calculations onto this handout. Keep it with you. So with working capital 1, working capital 2 and this video, your inventory management is totally done. Thank you. In the next video, we are going to look about the cash management. Thank you.